Hi guys, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can customize your vCasts channel and make it look the way you pretty much want it to look. vCasts provides a lot of customization for your channel look and design, so I'm going to go through quite a lot of things, and this might be a pretty long tutorial, but I hope by the end of it you'll have a pretty good overview of what you can do using vCasts. So when you first go to your vCast page, it looks something similar to this, very plain, not much going on, but we're going to change all that. The two buttons that we can use to customize our page is this button here first, which is the edit channel button. It's got like a paintbrush icon, and the second button we can use is the playground button. It's like a blank pad with a pencil icon. So let's start with the edit channel button. So click on that and a box will pop up, and you can see that we've got a lot of options here to customize our channel, and they're all split into sections. So let's start from the top. The first section is the banner section. Okay, so let's start there. We have an option to upload a large banner or a small banner. The large banner will go between the top bar here and the main content area, and the small banner will go under your stream box here. So before I upload a large banner, I want you to make you aware of a few things. The first thing is the banner size should be no more than 1105 pixels in width. You can make it smaller than that, and the banner will then center in the page. The file formats you can use are JPEG, you can use GIF, and yes, animated GIFs are supported, and you can also use PNG, which supports transparency. So in other words, you can make the background show through your banner. That's nice for some effects. The final option is the file size. The file size should be no more than 500 kilobytes. So now you know that. I'm going to click on the choose file button here and select my header, my banner. Once you do that, the banner is automatically uploaded to the page, and you'll see here you'll get like a thumbnail preview of what the banner is going to look like. So the next one is the small banner. Again, a few things you should be aware of. The width should be 621 and the height should be 141 in pixels. The file formats supported are the same: JPEG, GIF, animated GIF, PNG. And again, the file size should be no more than 500 kilobytes. So I'll click on choose file, and I'm going to choose the S header ping or small header file that I've got here. Again, it's going to upload automatically, and you're going to see like a thumbnail here. Okay, so I'm going to click on the close box now, or the close button, which is in the bottom right hand corner of the box, and if I refresh the page, you won't see my banner here because it's on a white background. It's white text. Okay, if you scroll down here though, you should see the small banner that I put right under my stream here. Okay, so that's the banners. That is basically the banners. Now we scroll down here. The next section is the background. Okay, now before I upload a background, I want to make you aware of the options that we have on the right hand side here. First of all, we have the background color. If we click in this box, if you don't want to upload a background, you can simply have a solid color background, and we can set this color in the background color box here. You can just select any color you wish from this box, and it'll be a solid color background. Okay. The second property we've got, or option, is the background repeat property. So if we click on this property, we can repeat the background. So we can select repeat, which will repeat it X and Y, which is horizontal or vertically. We can repeat it X, which is just horizontally. We can repeat it Y, which is just vertically, or we can select no repeat. No repeat is good for large images. Repeat is very good if you've got a very small image, like a repeating pattern that you want to use. In this box, you'd probably want to select repeat to have it repeating across your page. The third option we got is the background scroll property. We've got two options here, and that is fixed and scroll. If we select fixed, the background will not scroll with the page. It will remain static on the page. If we select scroll, the opposite, it will actually scroll with the page. The final option is background position. You have many options here to select. This is good if you've got a large image and you want the image to appear somewhere on the image itself, or in a position on the image itself. So you might want the image to appear in the left top, the center. You'd have to experiment with these options to get it the way you want it. Okay, now I'm going to upload a background. So before I upload the background, again, the file formats are JPEG, GIF, and PNG is acceptable as a file format, and the file size should be no more than 650 pixels. So I'm going to click on choose file, and I have a large image for a background, so I'm going to select open and wait for it to update. Should see a thumbnail here, and there we see the thumbnail. And because this is a large image, I'm going to come down to my background position and I'm going to place it from the left top. Now whenever you change an option in the edit channel box, apart from the banners, you're going to want to scroll down and click on the update button. That ensures that the changes are saved. So I'm going to click on update, and it says saving your changes, please wait. I'm going to now click close. When I refresh my page, my background should be in there. So now you can see that my background's in there, and I can actually see my banner as well because it's on a dark background, white text on a dark background. You can see because I've selected PNG for an image format, I've got a now transparent background, so the background is actually showing through my banner. This can be used for, again, some nice effects. So now I've shown you how to put a banner in, a small banner, a background, and all the options that you have available to you. So let's click on the paintbrush again. Now let's scroll down further. The final section is the colors and themes. Now there are a lot of options here, so it can be intimidating at first, but it's actually quite simple to use. On the left hand side here, we can select colors for the various boxes that vCast uses. We can select the color of the background of the box. We can select the color of the shadow of the box. We can actually select the color of the border of the box on most cases. So if I close this, I'll show you what I mean. For example, here is my playground area. I can select the color of the background of this box. It has got a border around it. I can select the color of the border. I can also select the color of the shadow. There is a slight subtle shadow around this box as well. So if we're going to click on the paintbrush icon again, let's scroll down. Let's start at the top here. I can select the color for my stream box and my stream box shadow, and the stream box is this box here where my stream is going to be playing. So let's just set that for an example. If I click in this box, I can select the color from this wheel here and this rectangle here. So I'm going to select a kind of grayish color for this because I want to keep it a dark theme. You can select whatever color you'd like. Once you've selected your color, you can also select the transparency of the color, how much of the background is going to show through by just dragging on this slider here. I'm going to set it about there. And then I'm going to click in the stream box shadow, and here I can select the color of a shadow. Now let's select just a white. Let's see if we can go for a white here. And again, we can select the transparency of the shadow just by dragging on this slider here. I'm not going to select any transparency for this shadow. I'm going to come down and select update. It's saving the changes. And I'm going to click on close. Now let's refresh, see what we get. You can see now that my background of my streaming box is like this light grey, and I have this white kind of shadow going around the background, which is quite nice, you know. Unfortunately for the streaming box, we can't select the border color, but for all the other boxes we pretty much can select. So let's go on to another box. Okay, let's go on to the playground area. Okay, here we can select the playground border color, the playground shadow, and the playground background color. Now for the playground background color, I want to keep my theme consistent. So I'm going to come up to my stream box, highlight this value, right click, copy, and then I'm going to come to my playground background color and I'm going to go paste. Now my background playground color should be this gray that I've selected up here. Okay, let's go to my background shadow. Again, I want to keep things consistent, so I'm going to copy the value for my stream box shadow, come down to my playground shadow, paste. Okay, this ensures that my theme is consistent, but you can select any color you want. You can experiment with different colors, different transparencies. You can spend a lot of time on this and get it exactly as you want it. Okay, but we have this extra option for the playground, which is the playground border color. So I'm going to select a different border color, and I'm going to select it's kind of this gray color here. This dark gray color, very dark gray. And this time I'm not going to select any transparency. I'm just going to leave it fully opaque or fully solid. I'm going to come down and I click on the update button. Close, refresh my page, and now you see that my playground area here has taken on the same type of colors and borders and shadow color as my stream box color. This is my playground area here. There's nothing in it at the moment, but I just wanted to show you that you can create, and you can see that I've got this dark border around here. Okay, and what I'm going to do this for the rest of my other boxes. So my Facebook comment border color, I'm going to right click, copy, paste in. My Facebook comment shadow, I'm going to come to my playground shadow, copy that, paste it in. My Facebook comment background color, I'm going to copy this, paste that in, hit update, refresh my page, and now you can see that my Facebook area here is the same as my edit playground box and my stream box. Now I'm going to do it for all the rest of the boxes, but I'm going to pause the video and come back when I finished. Okay, welcome back, and as you can see, all I've done is I've copied and pasted all my colors into all the other boxes to get a consistent design look. Okay, so I'm going to click on update, close. Now it's finished saving my settings, and refresh my page. And now you can see that all my boxes here have this consistent look to them. Okay? They all have this grey background with a dark grey border and this white shadow going around them. Okay? So that's all there is to actually creating a nice look or theme for the boxes on your page. Now, what about the fonts? Okay, well, on the right hand side to this, we have the font colors that we can choose. Okay, so let's go through them. The first one is the font color for the status and footer. So because my design is dark, I'm obviously going to want a very light font color to show up. So I'm going to right click here and make sure that white is my color. You can select whatever color you want. The links color, I'm going to click it for any links that appear on my page. I don't want it to be black, that's too dark. It'll be very dark, very hard to see on my dark theme. So I'm going to select a light grey. Oops, try that again. This kind of lightish grey. Okay, that should do for now. My playground font color, I'm going to select white, and my bio font color, again, I'm going to leave this as white because I want it to show up against the dark background. Now the two options we have here is called Google Font and Google Font Family. Well, what is a Google Font? A Google Font will allow you to select from various different types of font for your page. If I click on Update, first to change my settings that I've done so far, close, I refresh the page. Now you can see that my text is white here on this grey background. You can see in my status area it's white text as well, but the font is kind of boring. It's kind of Times New Roman, I think it is. It's not a very interesting font. The font that I've used for my banner is more interesting. And years ago, you would be stuck with just a few fonts that you could use. But now, with Google Fonts and various other things like Google Fonts, you have a lot of creative opportunity to select whatever font you want. But how do we use Google Fonts? Well, the first thing we do is we go to Google Fonts, and it's googlefonts.com/fonts. And when we go to this page, if we scroll down, we get all these different types of fonts we can use. And there's a lot of fonts to choose from. So you could take your time and really select which font you want. And there are a lot. But I know which font I want, so in this search box here I'm going to type in Dosis and hit enter, and I get the font that I'm actually looking for. I really like this font. It's clean looking, it's very nice. So once you've chosen your font that you want, you click on this quick use button, which is the second button here on the right. So click that and then scroll all the way down to the bottom, and we're interested in this code here and this code at the bottom here. Okay, so the first thing we do is in the Google font box, which is the top box, we need a URL to the font. So here we have the URL here. It starts with HTTP and ends with the name of the font. Okay, so I'm just going to select that, and sometimes it'll be very hard just to select that bit. It'll select the whole thing. Okay, so right click, select copy, and in this right click and paste, and you see you'll have all this extra code you don't need. So I'm going to just delete all this extra code. All you need is the URL to the font and this part at the beginning, including the quotes. And as you can see here now, all I have is the URL to the font. And if I just hover over, you can see it's just a URL to the actual font. And it ends with the font name. In my case, is Dosis. In the Google Font Family box, all we need is this code right here. Okay. So again, right click, copy, right click, paste. All we need is, we don't need the font family bit, we just need this section here. So I'm going to open up Notepad so you can see more easily what we need. First part is we need the URL to the font, which is that, and the second part is we need the font family, which is that. We don't need the extra bits here. Okay, so be very careful when doing that. Oops, I'm going to copy this, Try again. Paste that in. Copy this. Paste that in there. And I'm going to hit the update button again to save our changes. Close and refresh. Now you can see that the font has changed from that Times New Roman boring looking font to this font here, which is Doses. You can see it more clearly here in my status area. It's very nice. Again, we can give a consistent look to our design. I'm going to close this down. And the final options we have is right at the bottom here. We can select a Facebook comment theme if we like. We can choose a light theme or a dark theme. Because I've set the color for my Facebook borders and backgrounds here, I don't really need to select that. But if you do, if you wanted a quick way of doing it, you can select a light theme here or a dark theme. Finally, we can choose our stream. So if we're using Vaughan Live, we can choose Vaughan Live here, and that will be with Tiny Chat if you want to use the webcams. If you don't want to use the webcams, you can select various options here like Vaughan Live, no Tiny Chat. Okay? So with no Tiny Chat means you don't have access to the webcams. It'll just be the stream box and the chat box, which is what I want. So I'm going to select Update. And that's basically it. We've set everything. Okay, so I've shown you how to set your banners, your backgrounds, your colors and themes, your Google fonts, your Facebook comment themes, and your streams. And I click close, and this is my design. Okay, for my page, and I quite like this design. It's a dark design. It looks clean. I like it, but again, I don't really have much time to really design it exactly how I'd like it. You'll have all the time in the world to do that. But I've gone through all the options for you, and I hope you found it useful. Okay, so now that we've set up the general design or look of our page, we want to add things to our playground. And our playground is a content area, basically. And by default, it just says edit the playground, and it's a box really filled with nothing. Okay, so how do we edit or add content to our playground area here? Well, for that we can use the playground button, and it's a blank pad with a pencil icon. It's the playground button, so we click on that and a box pops up, and it's edit playground with a blank box there. There's just nothing in there whatsoever. Okay, so what we can use in this box here are BB codes. Now, don't be frightened of BB codes. It's just codes we can use to add content to our playground area. If we scroll down here, we can see a section called Supported Codes. And if we scroll down further, we can see all the codes that are supported. We have text styles, where we can manipulate how the text looks in our playground area. We have media section, where we can add media such as MP3s, MP4s, Vimeo videos, YouTube, Spotify, music. And we have a more area where we can add images, URLs, center the text, columns, emails, things like that. So there's quite a lot here. If we scroll down further, we have a usages section, and here we have all the examples of how we can use the BB codes. So if you ever forget how to use any of these codes, all you got to do is scroll down, and it gives you examples of exactly how to use them. Technically, I don't really need to do a tutorial on this, but I will go through them with you. So let's concentrate first on the text styles. So to save me typing it all out, I'm just going to highlight all the text styles, right click, copy, and then I'm going to paste them in this box. Okay, now the first one is the B code, and the B stands for bold. So anything in between this code, the text is going to be bold. So here I'm going to type in bold text. I can type any text between here, but I'm going to type bold text. The second one is I, which stands for italic. So anything between the italic BB codes going to have italic text. So I'm going to type italic text here. U, you might have guessed, stands for underline. So any text is going to be underlined. So I'm going to type in underline text. And again, any text could be between these codes. S stands for strike through. Okay? It's basically text with a line going through it. So I'm going to type in strike through text. The fifth one is size, and this controls the size of text. So I'm going to say large text. Now, how do we control the size? Well, some BB codes have properties you can put in. And if I scroll down to size, we can see that we can choose a value from 0 to 7, where 0 is the smallest and 7 is the biggest. And its size equals value. So I'm going to come up the top here and go size equals 7, because I want the largest text to appear. Color controls the color of the text. But how do we know what color to put in? So if we scroll down, again, it shows us that its color equals and then the color. But how do we get the color? If you click on the link here, it says click here for color codes. So if you click on this link, we can just select the color here. Okay? So say I want a yellow. Now I've got a dark theme, so I'm going to want to use light colors. If you've got a light theme, you're going to want to use the darker colors. Okay? But I'm just going to select a light yellow. And when I click on a yellow here, we get the color code here. So if I right click, select copy, I can now come back up to the top here and go color equals and paste that color in. And I'm going to type in yellow text. Okay? So once I've finished with putting in all my BB codes, I'm going to click on the update button. It's going to save my settings just like it did with the edit channel. I'm going to click on close, and now I'm going to refresh the page. And as you can see now, in my playground area, I have all these codes I put in. So I've got bold text here at the top, I've got italic text here, I've got underlined text here, I've got strike through text here, I've got large text here, and right at the bottom I've got yellow text. Okay? So those are the text codes. So I'll go back in and I'm going to delete all those and try some other codes here. Okay, so that is the textiles. The next one is the media. So I'm going to right click that and select all the media codes, copy, and paste them in up the top here. Okay, so the first one is called Mixler. Okay, if we scroll down, what is Mixler? Well, all we need to put in is the username of the track that we want. Okay, so I'm going to go to Mixler and click on the link here for Mixler, and I'm just going to select a random user here. Say this guy here. And if you look at the Mixler URL, after the // you get the Mixler username, and that's all you need to put in. So I'm going to right click that, select copy, then under Mixler, in between the Mixler BB code, I'm going to paste in this username here. Okay, the next one is SoundCloud. Oops. So if we scroll down, what do we need for SoundCloud? We need just the URL to the song name, the username and the song name. So I go to SoundCloud. I'm going to click on SoundCloud URL. And I'm going to click on just this track here. And all we need is, once you've got the track up, you need to right click, copy, and paste it in between the SoundCloud BB codes. Okay. The next one is the MP3 BB code, and here we need to link to an actual MP3 file, I think, if we scroll down. Yes, so we need a direct link to an actual MP3 file. Now then, I'm not sure where I can find one of those. Okay, so here I have a direct link to an MP3 file. Right click, copy the URL, and just paste it between the MP3 BB codes. MP4, again, you're going to need a direct link to an MP4 file, which is a video file. So here we have a direct link to an MP4 video file. So right click, copy, paste that in. The next one is Vimeo, and Vimeo again is a video site. So if we scroll down here, Vimeo, we're just going to need the user ID to the video. So if I go to Vimeo, just going to select a random video here. You can see that up the top we have the user ID here, or the video ID I should say. All you want to do is highlight that, right click, copy, and paste that in between the Vimeo BB codes. The YouTube BB code, we're going to need the ID of the YouTube video. So if I go to YouTube and I select a random video here, this one for example, you'll see that right at the end here we have the ID of the YouTube video, and we're just going to paste that between the YouTube BB codes. And the last two is a reverb. So if we scroll down, for reverb we're going to need the artist plus the ID. Now reverb is reverberation, so reverb or reverb nation. So I'm going to click on the link, and I'm just going to select a random artist here, Anna Taylor. And to get the artist, you select the artist, and then you select the All Songs button, or you click on the All Songs button. And then under playlists, you select the playlist containing all the artist's songs. And then right up the top here, at the end, you get artist underscore plus the ID of the artist. You right click that, you copy all that, and then you paste that between the reverb BB codes. And finally we have Spotify. So I'm going to load up Spotify. You can actually use the web player as well. It's the same thing. All you need to do is right click on a playlist, and from the pop-up menu choose the copy Spotify URL, and you can paste that in between the Spotify BB codes. So I'm going to click on update. Let's see what we've got here. Close, refresh, and I put a lot on this page now, so it might take a while to load. But as you can see up the top here, we have the Mixler artist that we chose. Underneath that we have the SoundCloud. This is a link to a MP3 so I can play it. Under that we have a link to an MP4 video. Underneath that we have a Vimeo video. Under that we have a YouTube video. And underneath that we have a playlist from the artist I chose from Reverb Nation. And finally we have the Spotify playlist that I chose. So that's all you really need to do for the media BB codes. Okay, wrong box. And again, if you get confused or you can't remember how it's done, scroll down and all the examples there will show you what to do. So I'm going to highlight all this, delete, and finally we have the More section. So I'm going to highlight all the BB codes under that, copy, paste that in, and first thing is the image BB code, and it's simply a URL to an image. So if I type in roses, for example, I go to images in Google. I'll select, oh, that's quite large, I don't really want a big one. This will do. And I click on view image. I've got a direct URL to this image. I'm going to right click, copy, and then I paste that in between the image codes. Yeah. The second one we have is called rule, and that simply inserts a horizontal rule to split up sections. You may want to use it. This is just simply rule. There are no parameters with it. It's just simply rule. URL is a link to a site. So if I go to Google, for example, .com, I can simply link to google.com. It's simply a URL link. Okay. Email is where you want to put an email address. So I'm going to put in a fake one here for demonstration purposes. joeblogs@none.net. Center, centers text. So I'm going to type in this text is in the center. Right, simply right justifies text. So I'm going to put this text is on the right. Left is obviously left justified. So I'm going to type in this text is on the left. And the columns, this is an interesting one. We can actually have columns. So rather than me type out the columns, right at the bottom here you have a example, and basically it's columns. This is in the first column, this is the second line in the first column, and then when you want to start a new column you put in the next col BB code. So I'm going to actually select all that and right click, copy, and put that, I'm going to actually create a space and paste that in so you can see. I'm going to click on the update button, close, and refresh the page, and you can see first I have this huge image that I put in. Underneath that I have a link to Google, so I click on that and it opens up Google in a new tab. Underneath that I have an email here, so if I clicked on that it would bring up my email program. Then I have this text is in the center, this text is on the left, this text is on the right, and finally I have columns. So this is the first column, this is the second column, and this is the third column. So now I've gone through all the BB codes available to you right now. I'm sure more will be added in the future by Max. And basically it allows you to really put a lot of things in your playground and have it look the way you want it to look. So that's the basics of BB code. What I did want to finish off with is to tell you that and to show you that you can actually mix BB codes and put them together. For example, if I wanted to insert a Spotify playlist, but I wanted the playlist to be in the center of my playground box because it's to the left by default, I could put two BB codes in. The first one is center, so I'll put in center and close it off, and then in between that I put Spotify, and close that off, and in between Spotify I put a link to my playlist. So I'm going to right click, Select copy Spotify URL, paste that in, and now because I put the center BB codes on the outside and the Spotify BB codes on the inside, it should center my Spotify playlist. So I'm going to click on update, close, refresh my page, and there you see there's my Spotify playlist, but now it's in the center of my playground blocks instead of to the left. Okay, let's try another example. Say I wanted my text to be large, red, large, yellow text, and I want it to be underlined as well. Well, I'll start off with large. Actually, it's not large, it's size. So I'm going to type in size equals 7. Close that off. Inside of that, I'm going to put color equals, and again, to get your colors, scroll down, click on this link, click here for color codes, and I'm going to select the very bright yellow, almost cream, copy that color code, paste it in, and close off the color BB code. And inside that, what did I say? Underline, I think it was. So underline. Is it underline? No, it's just U. And close that off. And then put some text in between that. And I'll just say, this is cool. So now you can see I've got the size BB code there. I've closed it off there. I put the color BB code here, I've closed it off there, and I put the underline BB code there, and I've closed it off there. So click update, close, refresh, and there's my Spotify playlist in the center, and right at the bottom I've got this is cool, and as you can see the text is size 7, it's underlined, and it's yellow. Okay. Let's do one more example, but as you can see, there's a lot you can do here. So, you know, I could center this text as well. So I could put center. Center. So now this text, when I refresh the page again, will be in the center. Okay, so you can mix and match these, or most of these BB codes. I'll do one more example. You might want to insert an image that somebody can click on to go to a site. Well, to go to a site we can use URL, so I'm going to type in URL, but this time I'm going to type in equals, 2 quotes or speech marks, and I'm going to type in the site I want people to go to when they click on it, and I'm going to close that off. And inside of that, I'm going to put image BB code, close that off, and then I'm going to get an image again, and I put in Google, and images, select a small image. I don't really want a big one. This one will do. View image, and again, I've got a URL to the image. Copy, paste that in between the image BB codes, and now when somebody clicks on this image, it should take them to google.com. So I'm going to type in, press update, close, refresh the page. See, I've got this image at the bottom here. You can see this text now is in the center. And now you can see as I hover over the image, it turns into a hand cursor indicating that's a link. So I click and it takes me to google.com. So you can have a really good experiment with these BB codes, put them together, and you can create some nice You can think of your playground as an about, where you want to include messages, maybe some song you created, or a link to a song, or videos, anything like that. Any kind of content will go in your playground area. It's a very nice addition to add to your page. It adds more interest to your page for the viewer, because they can look through it and say, oh, that's interesting, and click on this and that. Okay. Finally, I want to show you how a BB code is written, and that will be it. BB codes start off with a bracket, an angle bracket like that. Then you type in the actual BB code itself. So in this case, I'll just type in, say, the image one. So I'll type in IMG. Then you close it off with a bracket, a right bracket. Then you open a bracket. Again, you do a /. You type in the BB code you're closing off, which is, in my case, is image, so it's IMG. And you finish off with a right bracket. And in between then goes your content. Okay, as I say, some BB codes have a property like the size. So I type in size equals, then the value. I close it off with a / size, and inside there I put my text in this case. Okay, so it may be a little bit difficult to begin with, but I really hope that I've shown you what you can do with BB codes on vCasts. Okay, so I know this is a long video. We've covered a lot of things, but I really hope it's given you an overview of how you can customize your page, put in images, put in BB codes. I really hope that I've done a good job. Well, that's it. Enjoy it. Bye bye for now.